Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most beneficent. The poet of this poem is Gabriel Okara. Gabriel Okara is a black poet and he belonged to Nigeria. He was born in 1921 and he is described as a highly original poet. The reason behind this is that he is uninfluenced by any poet or any poetical school. Okay, what is the importance of his poetry is that Okara shows a concern regarding what happens when the ancient culture of Africa is faced with the onslaught of Western culture, how they came under the influence of Western culture and they have become diasporic now and they are not original in their culture. But basically, this is the subject matter of the poetry of Gabriel Okara. Okay students, the theme of this poem is basically this poem is a comparison of a way of a life, a custom or a behavior from a past with those of the present. So this is the comparison between the past life and the present life and the behaviors, how the people used to be in the past and how they behave in present now. So basically the theme is change, the change between the times, that in ancient times the people were fair and honest in their dealings, but in the present time they are not. And the second theme is society, that how the people are changed according to the societal values and how society trends change the people, influence. We are taking influences from the prevailing trends in our society. So the society is too much influential, so we adopt those behaviors that are most essential to fit into this society. That's why we are adopting those behavior, if those behavior are fair or not. Dishonesty, the people in this poem you can see that the poet wants to say that he has changed so many behaviors and so many faces he has adopted to fit himself in this society. So this is dishonesty, when inside you have live with different feelings, but apparently you show something else. And innocence, in this poem the poet shows the innocence of young people, those people who are very fair and honest in their life as compared to their adults. So the poet wants to adopt the behavior of his boyhood or his childhood when he was fair. And the authenticity of a behavior in this poem is shows in a way that that how have we become authentic to fit into the standards of the society. Like, if we are not fair in this society and the demand of the time is that we have to adopt so many faces to behave differently to fit ourselves according to the values and trends of the time, so how much these trends are authentic according to the time and how these are required for this time. So this is the authenticity of the theme of the poem. The next thing is imagery. Okay, first of all, what is imagery? Imagery is a vivid images to describe any phenomena in a poetry or in a prose. That how a poet shows or portrays a specific thing that a reader can feel by using all his senses, that what basically this is. For example, you have to see here, I have learned to wear many faces like dresses. If you come to this line of poetry, you can know here that putting on fake emotions to fit it, like he had weared so many faces like dresses. It's mean in your mind, when you are reading these lines, in your mind it comes that he is a fake person. So to make an image of a fake person, he uses these lines. So this is imagery, that you can imagine, you can see, you can look the vivid image of a hypocrisy in these lines. appropriate in an office or work setting but not in the real life. And in this imagery you can also understand that these so many faces are not good or not real for your real life, but you need to adopt all these behaviors at different spots of your life, but this is not a real behavior. And you can understand with all these lines that how this imagery affect your mind, and you can see the behavior, you can feel the behavior by reading these lines. Okay, the next is the tone. Now, what is the tone? Tone is a general character or attitude of a writing piece. When something is written that is pessimistic, that is mourning, that is optimistic, what is the behavior of the poem? By reading that specific piece or by reading that specific poem, what can you adopt from that, and what can you understand by just going through that? So the tone of this poem is mourning, because he laments over his behavior, that how he has changed his behavior and how he wanted to learn all those things that he has adopted in his childhood. So he lament or he mourn over the changed behavior. Now looking back in the time to when he was happy, Gabriel Okara is looking back into the times when he was happy in his childhood, because he is talking to his son and ask his son to teach him those behaviors that they had in their past. So he's looking back towards his past when he was happy in his past. So I want to be what I used to be, and once upon a time when I was like you. He's talking to his son that I want to relearn all those behaviors of the past, and I want to become like you as a boy or as a child, and I want to adopt these fair behaviors. Or seems like a personal view rather than a persona view. Personal view is when the poet is describing his own point of view, and persona view when the poet is describing his own point of view but fitting it on any other character, and the poet himself is speaking but about the character of someone else, so that is a persona. So he is using his personal point of view, that how he is behaving. He is not talking about any other person. So he just wants to go back to when he was happy fitting in it. He wants to go back to his past time, and he wants to become happy and want to relearn all those behaviors. So this is the mourning tone of the poem, that the poet is not happy with his present life. What is the form of the poetry? Form of the poetry is the structure of the poetry, how it is affect you, how these lines of the poetry are connected with each other, and what sort of a message it conveys to you. The form of this poetry is circular, because you can see that this poetry is started with the title Once Upon a Time and it ends with Once Upon a Time, and shows importance of when he was young. Once upon a time indicates that once upon a time when he was young, so this behavior is indicated in his poetry, and he is using a first person pronoun in this poem because he is expressing his personal side and his personal point of view. That's why he is using the first person in the poem and expressing his own time of past. Okay, the most important thing of the poetry are devices that the poet uses to make it more powerful and understanding for its readers. He uses the repetition. The word son is repeated a lot. This shows the poem is about a real relationship of a son and a father, that how both of them are important for each other, and how important the persona of a son to him. Because another character in this poem, one is the poet himself, Gabriel Okara, and he is talking to his son, so using the persona of his son. So this is the important, that he wants to learn those behaviors from his son. So relationships are important. So the lines of a son are repeated here. The word laugh is repeated a lot because laughter is a very important part of our life, and it is if we live in a society, we need to be happy, and then we can only contribute in the society. And if we cannot laugh authentically, things feel very wrong and very pessimistic. So laughter is very important. So that's why he uses the word laughter in the poem in repetitions. The authenticity of the theme of the poem is the people show emotions because they truly authenticates mean it, or for because it is a social construct to smile politely at the people. Because in the poem the poet repeats in the line that he used to smile at the people, and he adopt a soft behavior with the people, but generally he is not fair or happy towards people. So these are the importance of the line to becoming a happy, and laughing in a life and smiling in a life is a very important part of a life to make your relationship. So this is very much important. So that's why the poet repeat these lines or these words again and again. The another important device in the poem is the metaphor. Metaphor is an unlike comparison in the poetry. So what the comparison here is that he uses a blunt metaphor here. The harsh society of the reality of the society of today he portrays in these lines. The ice blocked cold eyes. Ice block cold eyes are those eyes that have no emotions inside it. When we are feeling something, the eyes are the mirror of our emotions. So if the eyes are ice blocked, that's mean that we don't possess any emotions for anyone. So this is a very blunt metaphor that the cold feelings are compared with the ice block cold eyes. Okay, what is the structure and the rhyming scheme of the poem is that the poem contains 7 stanza and with no rhyming scheme. This is a free verse poem and no rhyming scheme is there. The reason behind this is that he did not follow any rhyming scheme in the poetry, because when these are not in a rhyming scheme, or if this is a free verse, then it helps to portray the real idea of the poet and intimate monologue given by the father to his son. This is a monologue because the father is talking to the son, so this is a kind of a dialogue of a poem. So that's why he didn't use any rhyming scheme, but just gives it a free verse style to portray the real feeling or the real conversation between son and father. Language of the poem, the writer uses terms such as muting things and unlearn, and these will clearly show that he is not happy with the state of society and he has to make negative changes to himself to be able to fit in it. In the stanzas, he is given importance to the factor that he is not happy with the current trends of the society, that we all are not fair by heart, but we just have adopted so many behaviors to fit into this society, and that is a hypocrisy. So he criticized the behavior, and he is using the language in such a way that can criticize the current trends of the society. Okay, most of the important thing in the poem is the message of the poem. The first message is adult can adopt to society, but they can also adapt back to how the children live. So this is the comparison between the way of the life, a custom of a life that has been and that are now. So it is a comparison that these adult people adopted so many behaviors to confront with the society, but they are not happy with these behaviors. They want to change their life and they want to relearn those values of their childhood. It means they want to become fair. Okay, children see things a more positive way, but if an adult lives with a child mindset, he too can be equally as happy. So important message is the children are the innocent people of the society. That's why they are thinking positively. So the message is that if we all adult can adopt the behavior of the children, and if we can become fair and honest like those children, we can also live happily, because the children don't have an ego. They have the positive thinking side, and they don't have the moralistic issues. So if we don't have these moralistic issues, we can lead a very simple and a happy life. And for a more direct point of view, in the past people were being authentically polite, but now people just say nice things because it's what society expects them to do. In the past, if you look at your own elders, in the past the people were very blunt and honest, and they were talking in a fair way, but they are the polite and the good people of the society, and they possess as much values, their relationship, the love, the care, all the things. But in the current times, the people do not possess all these qualities, but still they behave in a good way with other people, and they stay nice with the people just because the reason that all the people expects to be nice with them. To fulfill the expectation of the people, now the people used to adopt those behaviors that are based on hypocrisy and not the real one, that the behavior is nice but the feelings are not nice. Okay, and the last message is that the poet is condemning the hypocrisy of the adults, that the adults of this society are hypocrite because they are not judging the people on the true basis and not telling them that how to improve themselves, but they just behave nicely with them by using all the false values and just giving the impression that they are feeling good for them, but inside they are not feeling good for them. So this is a hypocrisy of society. The demand of the time is, and demand of the all time is, to make everybody know that what is bad and what is good. So that's why human can improve their behaviors, but just showing that you are all the time good cannot help us to improve ourselves. These behaviors are not genuine. Okay, students, here the extensive study of the poem is ended, but it is expected with you that you all can adopt all these positive behaviors in your life, and hope this poem can help to improve our values and our behaviors in a society. Thank you so much.